Sad. A negative emotional state characterized by feelings of unhappiness, sorrow, and a sense of loss. Isolated. The subjective feeling of being alone or cut off from others, despite being physically present with them. Abandoned. The feeling of being deserted or left alone, either physically or emotionally, often resulting in feelings of rejection and loss. Victimized. The experience of being subjected to harmful or unfair treatment, often resulting in feelings of anger, fear, and helplessness. Fragile. Refers to a state of vulnerability or sensitivity, often associated with a lack of emotional resilience or the potential for emotional distress. Grief. The emotional response to loss, characterized by feelings of sadness, regret, and longing for what has been lost. Powerless. The subjective experience of lacking control or influence over a situation, often leading to feelings of helplessness and frustration. Ashamed. The emotion that arises when one violates a social norm or personal value, resulting in feelings of guilt, embarrassment, and self-consciousness. Lonely. The feeling of being emotionally disconnected or isolated from others, often resulting in feelings of sadness and longing for companionship. Vulnerable. Refers to a state of being open to emotional or physical harm, often resulting in feelings of anxiety, fear, and helplessness. Despair. A feeling of complete hopelessness and loss of faith in oneself or the future, often accompanied by feelings of sadness and helplessness. Guilty. The feeling of remorse or responsibility for having committed an offense, often resulting in feelings of shame, regret, and self-blame. Depressed. A mood disorder characterized by persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and loss of interest in activities that were once enjoyed. Hurt. The experience of physical or emotional pain, often resulting in feelings of anger, sadness, or disappointment. Remorseful. A feeling of deep regret and sorrow for having done something wrong or for a past action that caused harm to oneself or others. It often involves a sense of personal responsibility and a desire to make amends for the wrongdoing. Empty. A sense of feeling devoid of purpose or meaning, often characterized by a lack of motivation, joy, or fulfillment. It can also refer to a feeling of hollowness or numbness in response to a significant loss or trauma. Inferior. A belief or feeling of being of lower status or worth than others, often accompanied by a sense of inadequacy or inferiority complex. It can lead to self-doubt, insecurity, and a lack of confidence in one's abilities. Disappointed. A feeling of dissatisfaction, frustration, or sadness that arises when something expected or desired does not occur or fails to meet one's expectations. It can be directed towards oneself, others, or a situation. Embarrassed. A feeling of self-consciousness or shame that arises when one perceives that their behavior, appearance, or actions have caused humiliation or ridicule in front of others. It often involves a fear of being judged, rejected, or ostracized, excluded from a society or group.